Welcome to another episode of Roll Up a Poet. So get your blunts rolled and your drink poured. Alright? Now look. So what we on today, Mr.RollUp? Hold up, y'all ass be tweaking, bro. So look, today we're gonna be here to talk about Sahara, bro. Sahara from Chipotle. Yeah, y'all ass be tweaking, bro. Nah, we gonna go back to them days when I was working at Chipotle, bro. I didn't get y'all the Chipotle story before. And what I told y'all about was a girl named Maggie that was working there. A Mexican girl, you know what I'm saying, that I was, doing the thing with, the oral thing. I told y'all me and her, we never, did penetration, but we gave each other oral. That was a thing we used to do when we'd get off work. You know what I'm saying? We'd do it in the parking lot of my car in the back seat. Every night we got off work. Every night, bro. Real talk, right? Well, I told y'all about that story, right? But with that being said, it was something else going on too at that same time, right? So it was two other girls there that worked there that liked me as well. You know what I'm saying? One of them was this girl named Alexis. Alexis, she was real young. She was like 18, 19 or something like that, and she had the perfect body. I mean, body. She had Nicki Minaj buns, you know what I'm saying? Like, she had body at a young age. She was a young black girl. She had body, but I wasn't feeling her because she was young, you know what I'm saying? But she was on me though. But besides her, it was another girl that worked there named Sahara. So it was three girls that worked there that was on my head, right? Maggie was the Mexican, Alexis was the black girl, not Sahara. Sahara was from Saudi Arabia. She was Arabic. You know what I'm saying? Alright? Y'all ass tweaking, bro. So, with Sahara, right? Sahara was like 40 plus years old, right? Now Sahara, she did like prepping and shit like that, right? She didn't talk much because she couldn't speak that much English. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, she was real life from Saudi Arabia, bro. Like, it was only a couple of words that she could say that people knew what she was talking about. Everything else, she had to point it out or write it down or some shit like that, right? Well, it was a Chinese girl that worked there too. I forgot her name, but she was cool as hell, right? The Chinese girl and Sahara was like best friends. And the Chinese girl knew how to translate what Sahara would say, right? So when I started working there and shit, I'm making my rounds and all that. Sahara paying attention to me, right? Now I ain't think nothing of it, cause I'm thinking Sahara, like, just one of the regular foreign type people, just getting to know people, things like that. Nah, whole time she was checking me out. You know what I'm saying? But I never paid it no attention, right? So in between Maggie and Alexis, Sahara was checking me out too, right? So one day, I'm in the back working. I'm on prep, right? So I'm prepping the Chipotle chicken that everybody like, right? So it already comes seasoned in a bag and all this shit. All you do is like, throw it in a bucket or whatever. Well, not a bucket, like a pan and shit, Uh, I ain't breaking all that down. Y'all is tweaking, bro. But basically, it's sauce, the Chipotle sauce that it come with. Put it in a pan or whatever. You mix the sauce in it, toss that shit around, shit like that, right? So that's what I'm back there doing, right? Next thing you know, the Chinese girl run up on me. She like, Sahara like you. Like, she cut right into me. You know what I'm saying? And Sahara was like in that same little room that we was in, to do the prepping in, right? I told her she do prep too, And the Chinese girl just came out of nowhere. She wasn't in the room with us. She just came out of another room and walked up on me like, Sahara like you. Woo woo. So I look at Sahara. She gonna grab her mouth like this. And she like tapped the Chinese girl on her arm like, you bad, like that type of thing, right? So I thought the Chinese girl was lying. I'm thinking she just making up something, to be funny or whatever. So I go back to work. I'm doing what I'm doing. Sahara. I can't really compare her to nobody y'all know for real. But I'm gonna keep it real. Sahara was like one of them type of foreign women you see that work at hotels that do the cleanups, the housekeeping. She like one of them, like a housekeeping type, right? So I ain't paying the little Asian Chinese girl no attention. Like, all right, whatever, right? So Sahara and the Chinese girl, they walk off laughing and talking whatever they was talking about. They talking Chinese and Arabic. I don't know what the fuck they saying, So I keep going on about my business, right? Well, later on that day, Sahara tapped me on the arm, right? I turn around, I'm like, what's up, She like, you, me. Like, this what she's saying, I'm like, huh? I'm thinking she talking about me and her, like, gotta go clean up something in the back or something, She like, no, you, me, and then like the love symbol, So I'm like, oh, you like me for real, huh? She get the blushing hard as hell. Little Arabic chick, right? So I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, damn, the Chinese girl wasn't lying, woo. So I'm like, what's up? So she like, huh? Like, she don't know what I'm talking about. I'm like, hey, how you doing? Things like that. She like, oh, I ain't okay, Like, she can't say too much, So I don't really know where the fuck this going. So I had a couple words with her and then I kept it moving, right? Okay. Couple days go by. Next thing I know, she bring her sister up there one day. Her sister was like 10, 11 years old. No lie, right? And she bring her sister up there. Everybody's saying hi to the sister. Everybody know her sister. I don't. I'm still new there. I only been there maybe a couple months at the time, right? I didn't know the sister, but everybody else knew her little sister, right? So, okay, cool. I go to the bathroom, right? When I come out the bathroom, Sahara and her sister was sitting at one of the tables, for the customers to sit down and eat at type shit, right? Her and her sister was sitting at the table, right? So when I come out the bathroom, the sister like, yeah, you come sit down, right? Okay. So it's me, Sahara, and the sister all sitting down at this table, right? The sister was there to translate what Sahara was trying to say to me, right? Real G shit, right? So the sister like, yeah, my sister like you and she want to hang out with you, she want to do whatever you want to do. She paying for it, blah, 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 blah. This is what the sister is telling me. No cap, right? I'm like, what? So she like, yeah, you got any words for her, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, so I'm like, what is it that you like about me? How do you see me? Think these are the type of questions I'm asking. And the sister is translating it back to Sahara, and Sahara and the sister, talking the Arabic language, and then the sister will come back and tell me what Sahara was saying, I swear to God. Sahara was saying that ever since the first day I walked in there, she knew I was the guy that she wanted to marry. Right? She said I was her dream guy, the type of guy she wanted to be with, blah, 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 right? So she said she willing to do whatever it is that I want for us to start a relationship, right? The sister's like, she said she got money, she give you whatever you want, blah, 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 right? Mind you, this coming from a child. So I'm thinking she putting some butter on the shit, trying to butter it up, right? I'm like, straight up, oh, okay, woody whoop. I'm like, yeah, we can hang out this weekend, on some shit like that. So she asked me what day and time. I told her. She told it back to Sahara. Sahara okayed it, blah, 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 all of that, right? So basically, we had a date set up for that weekend, like that Saturday or something, right? Okay. This might have been like on a Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. So the whole week, Sahara, every time she walked past me, she's smiling at me, you know what I'm saying, giving me the wink, all type of shit, right? Mind you, I'm thinking Sahara just a chick that work at Chipotle like me, you know what I'm saying? Nah, it's a little deeper than that. But we gonna get there, right? So this around the same time, I told you I was messing with the girl that had the crazy baby daddy that up chop on me and walked me out the house with that bitch and all that, right? This is that same time zone, literally. Like, this situation happened like the day before dog kicked in the door and up chop on me and all that, right? So, the day that dog kicked dog up chop on me was on the Sunday. Me and Sahara had this day planned for that Saturday, right? But this is where things went left, right? So I was going to do the date with Sahara just to try something different. Even though Sahara wasn't my type, none of that. And I'm thinking, she just, one of them foreign chicks that's just working a job, just to get by, blah, 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 right? No. Sahara was a boss. Y'all ass be tweaking, bro. Anyway, so I'm messing with the girl with the crazy baby daddy, right? That Saturday, that me and Sahara was supposed to go out, right? I was at work. The girl with the crazy baby daddy, she called me. She like, hey, I need you tonight. Woo-de-woo. I'm about to come get you from work, blah, blah, blah. At the time, my engine had went out on my car, right? I didn't ask this girl to take me to work, pick me up. This wasn't none of that. She just knew that my car was down and she wanted to come get me from work and, go to work on the nigga. How about that? Y'all ass tweaking, bro. So I'm like, oh yeah, bet. I got to ride home, Because most of the time I just catch the bus type shit, But now I'm like, all right, bet. I got to ride home, Mind you, I'm still supposed to go out with Sahara. You know what I'm saying? But I knew that me and Sahara wasn't going to link up till like a little later on that night or whatever, So, okay. Girl talking about she going to come get me, blah, blah, blah. Like, bet. I threw Sahara to the side because I wasn't really tripping on that no way. But you know, my little rider chick, she hit me up. She was on it, so I'm like, all right, bet. Cancel Sahara, right? So by the time girl came and got me from work, and we headed to her crib, I called Sahara, right? Because you know, by this time I got her number and all that. So I called her and I made up a bullshit ass excuse. I don't even remember what it was. I said some bullshit as to why I couldn't link up with her, right? Now, again, you know, she don't talk much English, but she understand, you know, English, right? So she get what I'm saying and all this. And basically she was trying to tell me, like, basically what she was saying was like, okay, we don't got to go out. Just meet me at the room. Like, she wanted me to meet her at this hotel room. You know what I'm saying? Like, she wanted to do the do. Like, she was on it. She like, all right, we don't got to go out. Just come meet me at the room, you know? But I already had plans, so it was over with. Sahara was mad because she paid a lot of money for that room. And, you know, she wanted me to meet her there so we could do the damn thing. But I smoked her, you know, last minute. Y'all let's be tweaking, bro. So I smoked her, you know. She was mad about it. She like, okay, we're done. That's what she said. Like, you know, she said so many things, but I could only understand so many words. And the last thing she said, okay, we're done. Bang the line on me. I'm like, damn, all right, whatever, fuck her. I ain't tripping on her, you know. So I go out with girl that night. Girl broke me off, you know, did the damn thing. Next morning, baby daddy came, kicked the door down, up chop on me. You know what I'm saying? Walked me up out that bitch, all type of shit, right? So at this point, I'm like, damn, I should have just went out with Sahara. You know what I'm saying? That way I wouldn't have to worry about this bullshit, you know? So I go to work. Sahara don't want to talk to me. I'm speaking to her, rubbing up against her, you know, giving me the cold shoulder, not fucking with me at all, right? Like, damn, all right, fuck you too, I don't care, you know. Mind you, I was still fresh out, you know what I'm saying, fresh out of prison and shit. I'm just loving the women, you know, I don't care, shit, you know. Just got some pussy last night anyway. I ain't tweaking, you know what I'm saying? I'm just shooting my shot on the next right now, you know? Well, Sahara giving me the cold shoulder. All right, whatever, I don't give a fuck. So the Chinese girl pulled me to the side. She like, you fucked up. I'm like, what you talking about? She like, you know, Sahara really liked you, blah, blah, blah. You fucked that up, blah, blah. I'm like, whatever, man. I don't care, you know. I'm thinking she just stepping up for her, you know, siding with her, you know. She like, no, you really fucked up. I'm like, what is you talking about? She like, Sahara is a very important person in her country, in Saudi Arabia. She is a very important person. Like, she treated like royalty out there, you know. I don't want to say no king, queen type thing, but she is like top royalty out there. You know what I'm saying? This was the Chinese lady telling me, right? I'm like, yeah, right, you just saying that because this your girl, you know. She like, no, really. She like, she really is worth a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Like, she has a strong protection line, a big family, her country respect her, blah, 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 blah. Like, the Chinese girl was going on. Like, you know what I'm saying? She telling me, like, this where you lost it. Because You real life had a real one. You know what I'm saying? And you played her. I'm like, what? I'm like, okay, that shit sounds sweet or whatever, you know. She like, no, I'm serious. Sahara is well known, and she got a lot of money, you know. I'm like, if that's the case, then why the fuck is she here at Chipotle with us? She like, you know, you still young, you don't understand. But she like, you know, she had to escape her country, and she came over here and worked a job, you know, to cover up who she is. She moved in a smart way. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, that shit kind of makes sense, you know? Like, yeah, she really royalty. She like, you know, I know her, blah, blah, blah. I'm a grown woman. I don't got to lie about nothing, blah, blah, blah. She really is that. And she like, I'm going to be honest with you. Sahara is married. She has a husband, you know. That's top royalty out there. But the way how they did it, they basically calling it they divorced or some shit like that. But he still called the shots. You know what I'm saying? And he was looking for her. And she like, you know, if you would have stepped up and, you know, you would have dated her, she like, she would have had you replace him. And you would have took his spot. You would have been the royalty that he is. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, hell no, like you just making up some shit. She like, I promise you. She was like, you had a whole position that you wasn't even aware of. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, whatever, man. You know. So after the Chinese girl gave me and all that, you know, we talked, boom, kept it moving, right? Now at the time, the manager that worked there, it was a woman, right? And she was real close with all of the members that been there for a long time, that worked with them for a long time. She was real close with them, right? And Sahara was one of them, like, she been there for a few years, but she was real loyal to the job. So Sahara was very valuable, you know what I'm saying? And the manager fucked with her because she knows Sahara from previous years, you know? So one day, the manager pulled me to the side. She like, yeah, you know, you have fucked up, blah, blah, blah. Like, what are you talking about? She said the same thing about Sahara that the Chinese lady said. Because she knows Sahara, you know. She like, listen, I hired Sahara in. She like, I know her background. I know everything she got going on. You know what I'm saying? She like, that's the reason why I hired her. Fuck me up. She like, yeah, Sahara really royalty. And you fucked that up. You know? I'm like, man, y'all wouldn't even understand what I fucked it up for. You know what I'm saying? I didn't tell them, but just saying, like, y'all don't even understand why I fucked it up. I fucked it up for some bullshit at that, you know? It was what it was. So, all in all, I could have been motherfucking Prince of fucking Saudi Arabia. Y'all ass tweaking, bro. Nah, I'm just talking shit. But yeah, all in all, I missed the opportunity, you know, with somebody that really, you know, had some shit going on. And I didn't notice because they was in the same disguise that I was in, a fucking Chipotle outfit. You know what I'm saying? But on the backside, this person was really one of them ones. And she was trying to escape that lifestyle she was living out there in Saudi Arabia, you know. Well, the husband, he royalty too. So he had a lot of connections, you know what I'm saying? And he was trying to find her. Like, he was searching for her. And he was getting real close. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was on her ass. You know what I'm saying? He was getting real close. And I don't know. She said I was the type of dude that she wanted. So I guess she wanted to put me in front of her whole family. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, this is him right here. You know what I'm saying? And I was gonna take shit from there. You know, whatever they would have had to do with their marriage, it would have ended there. You know, if I would have stepped up and I would have took the role. And it ain't no telling what I could be on right now. But like, I ain't know what was going on under that disguise. You know what I'm saying? Plus, I just had my little rider with me, and she was ready to go. So I was like, "Fuck it, I'd rather do that than to go hang out with this Arabic chick, and I don't know what's gonna happen." You know what I'm saying? So that was the time Mr.RollUp got to go ahead, hold that L. Y'all ass tweaking, bro. Y'all know I hold my L's. You know. So the L in this is, you know, don't judge a book by its cover, bro. Y'all ass be tweaking. You know what I'm saying? I judged the book by her cover. You know, thinking she was just a foreign chick working at a fast food place to live. But whole ass time, she really one of the ones trying to duck some shit. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. So again, the lesson is, don't judge a book by its cover, bro. When guys send you a blessing in disguise, hey, unmask it day by day. You know what I'm saying? That blessing that came to you, it'll unmask itself. Let it take its time. Don't be quick to judge, and don't judge a book by its cover. How about that? Y'all let's be tweaking, bro. It's been another episode of Roll Up a Poet. So get your blunts rolled and your Drake poured.